right, welcome back, everybody, for another installment of my Wednesday watch list. These are the books that I'm going to be keeping an eye on this upcoming Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, April 26th, 2023. So, like I said, these are things I'm tracking. I might be buying. I'm going to see the prices, see what happens on some of these books as, just comparing what's going on before release and then what happens immediately after release. And we'll see how these books do. Like I said, this is a collection of books that I find interesting, whether it be for some covers, there's a couple of homages, there's incentives. Like I said, whatever's catching my eye for this week is what I'm going to tell you guys about. As I mentioned, this is members first, so members will get to see this as soon as I'm done filming this. I'm doing this on Sunday before the Star Wars show, so that means most likely they'll get this today before Star Wars, and then everybody else will probably get this on Monday late afternoon, which should still be enough time for you to catch your books on new release Tuesday for your DC stuff, and then new release Wednesday on Wednesday. So with that said, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back with my books. Okay, so as I mentioned there in the open, this is the Wednesday watch list for New Comic Book Day, April 26th, 2023. And like we've been doing the last week or two, I'm going to start off with covers. These are just covers that I like, that I'm keeping an eye out for, that I might grab if I see them on the shelf and they look as good as they do in the, on the screen. Sometimes books look different when you hold them in your hand as opposed to when you see them on a computer screen or on your phone. So we'll see. These are things I'm looking at. Like I said, most of these are still cover price. These aren't things that are really jumping up or anything like that yet. It's just books that I find intriguing, I find interesting, and who knows? A lot of times, sometimes that all it takes is a hot cover becomes hot. So we'll see what happens following, this week's releases. But we're going to start off with Marvel, and I'm going to start off with an Alien book. Yeah, so another new Alien volume is starting, and I just kind of like the simplicity of this one. It just looks cool. I don't know if it's frozen or if it's inside one of the, the glass, containers, but just this face hugger alone, I like it. I like it. I noticed that Marvel's doing a new border for their 20th Century Fox movie properties, because I saw Predator had a different little border going on. I don't know if this one's going to have that too. I hope not, but it probably will. So that might detract from it too. So like I said, I look at the pre-sale image. This looks kind of cool. And then when release date comes, maybe it gets a border thrown on it and it just changes the whole dynamic of the cover. Kind of like the Ewoks book. Like the Virgin 1/100 of that Ewoks, the Ryan Brown with the face. Looks great as far as you get the Virgin, you get the full page, but the regular edition, it's got this huge border all around it, and it just kind of detracts from the image. So it's not exactly what you might have expected to get if you just take a look at the pre-release image. That said, a couple other Marvel books kind of catching my eye. Kind of like this Captain Britain. So this Betsy Braddock Captain Britain, I don't know. It's got a little bit of a anime kind of manga vibe, so I kind of dig it. Like I said, we'll have to see when everything's all said and done how it lays out. But I kind of like the pale colors here. The color palette is pretty cool, and the dragon in the back. So we'll see if this actually looks as good on the shelf as it does in this kind of image to me. I'm gonna get this anyway, this next book, because I love Daredevil and I like Daredevil, and I've been digging this run. So this is just a cool image. This is an awesome just Daredevil book, just regular old Daredevil book, but pretty cool cover just by itself. But I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna read it because I'm a fan of the title. So this is just an added extra, and I thought it was worth showing it because, like I said, this is a cool cover. You got all the swords, all the katanas just stuck there in the snowy ground. I don't know if it's snowy ground or just a wet ground, but it looks cool nonetheless. And I like the muted palette with the blood really jumping out and the red. I don't know. I dig it. So, plus interesting story, him fighting with Punisher in the hand and all that right now. So definitely intriguing. So let's see what we got next. I actually got a Venom book. Not usually a big fan of the Venoms because they all kind of end up looking the same, but something about this one. I know it's kind of calling back to that Venom 3, the first Null, but a little bit. But I don't know, kind of like it. And that Silver Sable, I think, in the middle, it's pretty cool. So this Venom Lethal Protector 2, this is a pretty cool regular cover price, book. This is not an incentive. This is just like a B cover, C cover, or whatever. And I think it actually looks like it has some potential to be a cool cover that I might just grab just for the sake of grabbing it. I don't know. Look cool to me. I don't know, the texture of the tongue there. It's, I don't know, kind of striking. That said, Hopping over to DC now. So these will actually be out on Tuesday, so you guys can go and get these early if your shop does that, or if you do that shopping on Tuesday as well as Wednesday. First one up, this is like the B cover, or I don't know if it's the B or the C, but regular incentive, regular variant. And I shouldn't say incentive, regular variant for Green Arrow 1. Black Canary, Frank Cho. I kind of like it. There is a foil version of this. I don't know why or how that's going to look, like a mostly white cover with foil. Those two don't seem to mix to me, but there apparently will be a foil of this. That's a 1 in 50. So we'll see how that does. It's not pre-selling for anything. But then there's also a pretty fun not David Nakayama of Green Arrow. It's got that, like, I forget what he calls these, color bleeds covers. I like these. I might grab this one too. We'll see. Like I said, like, what do I really need 2 issues of Green Arrow #1? But we'll see which one I like better in hand, and see which one I'm actually going to walk home with, if not both. Well, Jenny Frizen's been doing the Harley B covers here for a while. Some have been great. Some have been, This is kind of in between. I kind of like it. I don't love it, but I kind of like it. I don't know. Just something with the apple, the whole teacher, the ponytails. Kind of like it. So I'm probably going to get it as well. But it's not one that I think is going to be like, oh, it's going to sell out and nobody's going to be able to get a hold of it. It's not like one of those. Like, I think that bathtub one was one that that did that. Everybody just flocked to it. I don't think it's going to be one that everybody flocks to, but I kind of like it. So we'll see where it goes. Doom Patrol's got a pretty cool gimmick cover, glow in the dark. So we'll see how this one looks. I'm just imagining that the wraps here are going to glow, and I think that would be kind of cool. Could be a pretty cool image. So I'm going to take a look at this, gimmick cover, glow in the dark cover for Doom Patrol. What is it, #2? So we'll see how that one ends up looking in hand again, because it looks pretty good as itself. Glow in the dark, I'll have to see how that, because it doesn't exactly tell you where that glow in the dark aspect's going to go. I'm imagining it's going to be the wraps, but we'll see. And I got one more regular cover price DC for you, and it's another Wonder Woman. Just like this. It looks like, again, it has that. But I'm a fan of that the anime type style, like the Joe Madureira, like that kind of stuff. I like that type of art, especially done well. So I kind of like this. Again, it looks like it's straight from a cartoon, straight from an animated series. But this Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods #4. Again, this is just like the B cover, the card stock, limited trade dress type variant. So it should be at your shop. I just like it. So I'm probably going to go and grab this one. Oh, no, I got another one. I got another DC book. And this is this creepy one. This is, oh boy, Sandman Universe. This is the Dead Boy Detectives #5. So Dead Boy Detectives, we know we're going to be getting a show of them eventually. So maybe more interest will go towards this title. But this cover alone, this is just a creepy image. Just those eyes. Those eyes are just haunting. And then with the all black cover and the sprinkle splatter there, it gives this just ominous vibe. And like I said, just those dead eyes just staring right back at you. It's just kind of creepy. So I kind of like it, but it'll depend on what it actually looks like in hand, whether I actually buy it or not. Because like I said, I'm not reading this title. So other than just being intrigued by this cover, I don't have any other reason to pick this one up. So I'm going to take it as I see it. So if it looks good, I'll take it home. Otherwise, probably leave it behind. For whatever reason, when I was flipping through Midtown with the pre-sales, because I like to do that occasionally, see what's going on, High Republic, this one shot was already sold out. And they only had the A cover showing. There's a B cover. I don't know what the image looks like. But the Quest of the Jedi, for one reason or another, was showing as sold out. They'll probably get restocked, or maybe there's some sort of shipping delay. Who knows? But just something to keep an eye on. So if Midtown's already sold out of a regular type book, it's just something that's kind of a little trigger. Makes me wonder, like, what's going on? So just something to keep an eye on as we go forward. So we'll see. This is one of the Dark Horse Star Wars High Republic books, so don't have a lot of high hopes for it, but maybe. We'll see. I'm still going to get it because I still get all this High Republic stuff. But we'll see if it's any good, or we'll find out why it was showing as sold out. And with that, let's get to this next book. Sun Kumanaki. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but this is a La Muerta #1 for Primeval. It's like a $7 cover. Oh, and actually, it's a $9 book. I'm sorry, not $7, $9. It's Coffin Comics, so it's like Lady Death and all that stuff, and Muerta. So it's just one of those covers. It's just like I don't know if this is the A or the B. It's just the regular price cover, but it's pretty cool image. So it's kind of catching my eye. I don't know if I want to spend $9 on it, but like I said, it'll depend if I can get it in hand, and I'll make that decision then. So the $9 has me pausing. If this was like $4 or $5, yeah, I'll probably grab it just for the sake of grabbing it. $9, I go, well, hold on. So we'll see. Just like the next title, I don't know if anybody actually reads Deja Thoris, but I always like looking at the covers because there's generally a lot of good quality covers. That's the problem with a lot of the Dynamite books is they have so many covers, and a lot of them are good, but then they do the covers to death with the different versions and the black and white and the Copic and the Virgin and all that. So many different versions for their incentives of random numbers of 1 in 7s and 1 in 10s and 1 in 15s, etc. It gets confusing. Plus, like I said, I don't know if I'm really going to read the Deja Thoris, but this Josh Sway is kind of cool. So maybe I'll take a look at it because I kind of like it. So this is issue 2 of the current Deja Thoris run. And there's another cover for this same issue that also kind of caught my eye. And it's this one right here. I can't forget. I forgot to look up the artist name because it's an unfamiliar name to me, the artist. But I kind of like this. It's almost got like a painted quality to it. I love the background. I like the pose. And what I found extra interesting was the pose looked very familiar as I was scanning through the books this week, because Dynamite also has a Vampirilla book, and the artist did this cover for that one as well. And it's Vampirilla Strikes number 12, and it looks just like this. I don't know if it's intentional. It's got to be. It can't be coincidence. But because you even got the drapery in the back, like it's there, different color, but it's just the pose and everything. It just caught my eye. I was like, it was interesting that they did this twice. So I'm gonna go see what these look like in hand, and maybe I get them. I don't know, because like I said, it's an unfamiliar artist to me, and I will see if it's worth it. Let's see if this is somebody I'm going to start collecting all of a sudden. Because like I said, initial reactions are that I like both of these. I don't know why we need 2 of them, but I kind of like it. So we'll see. Up next, this Dead Romans. I haven't yet got to read this first issue, but issue 2 is coming, and these covers do still look great. I don't know. This is, I think this is cover A for this. It's either A or B. I think there's 4 covers, and they're all cover price, so they're not incentives. I think there's 4 covers for this normally, and I like this one as well as, I think this is the A, like I said, and this could be the B. I like this one as well. Just really cool imagery. I dig it. Bloody battle, war. I like the lighting here. I like almost the silhouette nature of this. I dig it. That's all I'm saying is I like it, so I might get both. Kind of like those Last Barbarians. I'll get those multiples of that too, just because I like the art that much. I like covers, so that's why this segment's going so long, because I just like all these covers. Speaking of cover price, and well, we'll see. World Tree is supposed to be coming out this week. As we know, it got delayed. It got pulled because it was too dark. So we're supposed to be getting all of those books that didn't come out before. I actually did get the B cover of this the first go around. I don't know if I was supposed to get it, if it was supposed to get pulled or not, but my dad grabbed me from a shop that we go to. He grabbed me, so I still have it. And so I got this already. But it's supposed to be coming out this week and releasing all these other covers, so we'll see how that goes. So just a reminder, World Tree should be dropping with all those variants. I'm not going to cover them all again, all the incentives, because there's some are pretty cool, but I'm not doing it again. Just keep an eye out for them. Just remember, lots of store exclusives, so even those incentives, there'll probably be lots of copies of those out there. So just keep that in mind. Homages. I just did a whole hidden gems on this topic just this last week for Action Comics 1. I like homage covers, homage, homage, however you want to say it, or however you're supposed to say it. I'll cover all the bases. That said, I don't have a lot. Like last week, I had a bunch. This week, I only got a couple, but I still kind of like them. So here's the first one. Money Shot. Money Shot comes again, number 1. I know this is not a title for everybody. It's definitely not suitable for all audiences, but I enjoyed this title. I thought it was a fun read from Vault the first go around. I'm looking forward to the second series, second run. And I kind of like that they had Infinity Gauntlet 3 cover here. I kind of like it. It's not one you see all the time, so I thought that was pretty, and it's well done. You guys know when it matches and they do the trade dress and everything. I like it when they do that level of detail. They take that attention to detail to that level. I'm a fan. So there we go. I like it. I ordered this. I'm going to get this one along with a couple of the other covers because I like the covers. Another homage we have is a movie poster. This one's coming from the Neighbors over at Boom. So that Neighbors title, I think this is issue 2. Probably should have put the number down, but I thought it would be on the cover, but it's not. But it is a Rosemary's Baby movie poster, homage. And again, pretty well done. I like it. Everything's kind of laid out the same. So I'm intrigued. Plus the art is pretty good. Like the art is pretty good on that. So gonna keep an eye on this. Maybe grab this just to get for myself. Plus, I think I gotta read. I didn't read Neighbors 1 yet, but Boom usually starts off pretty well. So I still gotta go back and read it. And maybe we'll check out this issue 2. Because like I said, I think this is issue 2. Up next for our second prints, we do have some second prints dropping this week. No incentive second prints that I'm aware of coming this week. We all know Spider-Boy's coming eventually. But this week, we do have some second prints. Starting off with Dead Romans. I mentioned them before. So issue 1 is getting that second printing from Image this week. Find it interesting. We are getting a lot of Image second prints, and was talking to my buddy who owns a shop. He was explaining to me, I think, that Image is not overprinting anymore. So even with their new number ones, they are printing whatever is ordered. And then if things get hot after the fact, or people start liking it or reading it later, they go back to print. And that's why we're getting these second printings, because they didn't overprint to have extras lying around for reorders. I think they're playing it pretty close to the vest, keeping it pretty tight because maybe cost, whatever. But I'm sure you guys have noticed, like we had a couple of second prints from Image last week, and then we got another second print from Image. So just keep that in mind. If any of these titles really hit, that those first prints might not have the print runs that you might think that they do, because like I said, they just printed to order. And so we'll see how that works out. But there's our Image book for this week. And then I got a couple of Marvels for one reason or another. Scarlet Witch number 3. Get the second print for Scarlet Witch number 3. No incentive to go with it. Just Scarlet Witch number 3's got a second print coming. And X-23 Deadly Regenesis number 1 also has a second printing. I think the Scarlet Witch's new cover art, probably from the interior. The X-23, I think it's just a recolored version of the regular, or one of the regular covers. But that's what you got. If you're interested in the second prints, this is what kind of caught my eye for this week. So let's get into our final segment, our incentives, things to keep an eye out for. We know the first one heated up, and with the popularity in the movie, hopefully that popularity is continuing. Dungeons and Dragons, the Saturday morning cartoon, the 1 in 10. Yeah, I'll be getting one of these too. I'm getting all these covers. I was a big fan of this cartoon as a kid. I mentioned it the first time out. Yes, that first one, the asking prices went up pretty high. But if you notice, there are a lot of them actually sitting there right now. There's probably like close to 10 copies of that number 1, asking like $75 to $80, almost to $100 for that 1 in 10. Just because they're there asking that doesn't mean it's selling. Just keep that in mind too. So it could have just been an initial rush, could have been a FOMO thing. Don't know what's going to happen with issue 2, apart from the fact that, well, I don't know if anybody expected it to happen with Dungeons and Dragons. So stores might have made a serious reduction in their orders for issue 2, because they would have had to put these orders in before they got the reaction to number 1 and the 1 in 10. So keep that in mind as well, that this could be on the tougher side to gather as you go to the shops this week. Pre-sale prices go. There were some going back to like February, but I'm really going to count those. Recent pre-sale price, $20. One sold for it yesterday. Shop put it up. So double ratio, $20, not too bad, but there are none up available right now. So at least on eBay, there are none available. So you have to see what happens come Wednesday, if copies hit, and when they hit, what that price is going to be. So just something to keep in mind and something to watch. Try not to get FOMO, but at the same time, I don't know how easy these will be to come by. So keep that in mind as well. Up next, this is another title that kind of snuck up on me. I used to rely on my buddy Chris Nelms to give me heads up on a lot of this indie stuff, because he would be have his ear to the door, finding out what's going on. But this Joseph Schmalke has a new title coming, and it's this 7 Years in Darkness. The regular A and B already is also sold out on Midtown, as well as the 1 in 10, which is a Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Pretty cool, ominous. I mean, yes, it's a little blurry, but it's kind of got that spooky kind of vibe to it. Kind of like it. But where are you going to find this thing? This is not going to also be easy to find, because I didn't even know this title was coming, let alone how many stores are going to order 10 copies for the incentive. This is also from a publishing company I'm not I don't know all that well. CEX, I don't even know what that stands for off the top of my head. But copies of this have sold for $40, $35 with the cover A, B, and the 10, this 1 in 10, and $50. So this is already sold pre-sold for some pretty solid prices the last week or two. Just something to keep in mind because this could be tough if you're interested, and if you're like a Bill Sienkiewicz fan, a Bill Sienkiewicz completionist. It could be a tougher one. Could be a tougher one to find. Right now, I found a copy up there asking $50 for issue 1. It's a 4-issue mini as well, so not going to be a long one. There it is. That's what's out there right now. So keep an eye on your shop. Maybe this weird little title in your shop. Order 10. Maybe you can find it, and maybe you can make yourself a couple of bucks because this one might hold this value for a little bit because it just has one of those weird things. Again, known artist, interesting title. We'll see. We'll see how that works. Going back to Vampirilla, I showed you that cover with the drapes and the new artist reusing the pose. But there's a 1 in 15 as well as a 1 in 10 that has that icon border. But this is Vampirilla Strikes number 12. This is the 1 in 15 Virgin version. We saw what happened with the Bruce Timm. That one got really, really hot. This is, again, not new art. This is art we've seen before. This is Mike Mayhew on one of the older Vampirilla titles, reusing the art. So keep that in mind as well when you go out there shopping and paying for these books, that you are buying reused cover art. Because not that it should matter all that much, but it's just good to know. Because if you start paying some of these higher prices, you might as well buy the original. Just saying. But this is a 1 in 15, so you can keep that in mind as well. But it's Dynamite, so God knows. He covers all over the place. It was so hard to keep track of. Heading over to DC for the 1 in 25s, we have a Harley Quinn cover. I just kind of liked it. There's no real spec play or anything like that to it. I think there's also a 1 in 50 probably as well. I just like this image. I just like the classic Harley look. Thought it was well done. If this was cheap enough, I would probably get this. This, $15. I might buy this for $15. This 1 in 25, just because I like it. But outside of that, I'm probably not paying a ratio. Just saying, it's a personal thing. But it is a cover that I do like. This next one looks like a back of a tarot card or something. This is Dead Boy Detectives number 5. This is a 1 in 25 for that same issue with the spooky dead eyes that I showed you before. I'm not reading the title, so I don't know what's going on in the title. But this Virgin image for the 1 in 25 kind of caught my eye, and it could look nice, in a bag and board. I'm just saying. So again, it's not selling for a bunch or anything right now. Just keep my eye on it, because if I find it for cheap enough, I might just grab it because I think it's kind of interesting. I like the next cover image. This is the 1 in 25 for Darth Vader, black, white, and red. I like it. I like this cover. It looks nice, but don't pay too much for this. Only because there are a lot of exclusives for this title, so there are going to be a lot of these incentives. Yes, it's a 1 in 25, but this is not the highest incentive. There's going to be a lot. There's a lot of store exclusives, so there's going to be a lot of copies of the incentives out there as well. So just keep that in mind before you go overpaying. I do like it, but maybe ratio. Maybe, but otherwise you could probably get this for under ratio. So just keep that in mind too when you're out there shopping, because there's going to be plenty of them. Just like there's probably still going to be plenty of this one, which I also like. This is a Delato 1 in 100 Virgin. I like this. This is a sweet cover, 1 in 100 too. But these prices, even at ratio, give me pause because of, again, I've gotten emails from at least half a dozen stores with different store exclusives. So if all those stores are getting their 1,000 copies of the 3,000 copies of the trade dress and another 1,000 copies of the Virgin, that's 4,000 copies they had to order, not counting any of the regular covers that they're ordering as well. So just from the exclusive covers alone, they're going to be getting 40 of these? That's a lot for one store to have, or one, not even store, like one spot to have. So just keep that in mind too. But prices on this, pre-sale prices, like I said, it's been above ratio, right around it, $100, $100, 110. We'll see if it maintains that, because the asking prices right now are above it. Yes, there's 100 here or there, but there's a lot of 150s and 180s. I think that's a bit too steep because, like I said, I think there's going to be enough of these to go around. But I've been wrong before. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked in a while to see where that Jabba's at, or the Ewoks. So just because if it's a Star Wars 1 in 100, don't get FOMO because you're a Star Wars fan. Just maybe take a pause and think about how many could be out there. This is also Vader. This is a Vader new miniseries. Store exclusives, as I said, going to be plenty out there, I think. That's my gut. It's going to tell me there's going to be enough of these out there. And this will be like a $80 kind of book. 70 to 80 maybe. That said, we'll see what happens as we hit Wednesday. Up next, I mentioned before, as we're kind of wrapping this thing up, we're almost done. Money Shot. I know. Silly. Why they have such high ratio incentives on this, I don't know. I guess it's because they also have the multiple covers. They expect people like me are going to buy multiple covers because they're weird completionists around certain things, not everything. I don't know. Like I said, I like this title. I don't care. Judge me all you want. I think it's funny. That said, I don't know if I can go and spend the money on this 1 in 50 because 1 in 50s are going to be tough. Granted, one has pre-sold. Best offer on $85. They accepted $65 on this 1 in 50. Only copies I can see listed available are from a shop that's kind of near me, actually. It's in Pennsylvania, but Wade's Comic Madness, it looks like they have those sets. And they do this a lot. This is a shop if you're interested in that. They usually do a lot of sets like that where they'll sell you all of the covers like sets. I think I bought the Sonic 50 off of them that way because it's just easier. Like it is very convenient for some of them to do it. So I think it's a good deal. Well, not I mean, well, I mean, if you like the price, it's a good deal. But I think it's a good thing to have this. But what they have listed right now is they do have the 1 in 10, the 1 in 25, and the 1 in 50 because there are other variants for this. This is the 1 in 50, for $80. Okay, so you're getting a 1 in 50, a 1 in 25, and a 1 in 10. Not terrible. And then there's also a 1 in 100, and they got a lot of that as well. Speaking of which, this is the 1 in 100. It's a black and white cover. I'm not a big fan of when they do this black and white of another cover, but this is the 1 in 100. I still kind of like it. I think the art is really good, even in the black and white. A lot of times it isn't. This, I think, still plays. It has like a retro throwback kind of vibe. Kind of like it. But I also like the 1 in 10, which I did order because it's a 1 in 10 and it does have the color, pops of color, and I do like the color. So I don't need the 1 in 100 personally. I'll be good with this 1 in 10 because I just dig it. I like it. That said, the 1 in 100 is out there. While no copies have pre-sold, the only ticket in town that I could find was Wade having up that set. So it's 190 to get a 1 in 100, 150, 125, a 1 in 25, and a 1 in 10. If you're paying about ratio for all of them. So that'll be your call if you feel comfortable with that. Who knows how easy this is going to be to find? How many stores are actually ordering 100 copies of Money Shot? I'm just saying. There are 2 polybag covers that are not suitable, for the shelves. So those usually sell well as well. Keep an eye on those when you're at your shops. Could be an increase even on release day for those. I didn't put them in here, and I didn't want to show those images because, I don't want to try to keep the ad flow rolling. So didn't want to put the not suitable stuff up there, but they are there. So keep that in mind. But wrapping us up, we do have a couple of Marvel Tales books coming, and for whatever reason, the Marvel Tales, they keep doing these 1 in 50s. So we have a Marvel Tales Miracle Man #1 reprints. It's mostly reprints and stuff like that, reused stuff, but nice thick cardstock, oversized book. They're generally like $8-10 or something like that. So 1 in 50, how many stores are ordering? Want 50 copies of this? So the Miracle Man Marvel Tales #1 with this Al Davis cover, one pre-sold, believe it or not, for $250. That was back in February. Who knows if that was the actual price accepted or if this deal ever actually got done. It was 2 months ago. Just saying, that's the only sale I could find, though. Asking prices, there's one at auction starting at ratio at $50, and there's another copy listed for 236 plus. It's got a weird number because it's in Canada, so you're getting that currency conversion. So getting that weird price there because it's probably like $250 Canadian or something like that. Who knows? But there you go. That's what's out there. So something to keep an eye on. I don't know how easy these will be to find, how hard these will be to find, because while I see some of these in my head, it makes sense that they're hard to find. Then I start seeing sellers have multiple copies of these 1 in 50s that they start auctioning off, and those auctions start going off well under ratio months and months after these things have been released. So diamond pallet sales, things like that, overstock at the printers. Keep that in mind. When we do these print runs, it's guesswork. It's estimates. We don't actually have the concrete numbers, so we can guess at how many they might have printed, but there could be more than you think out there. Just keep that in mind. And one more, Rocket Raccoon also has a Marvel Tales coming. This is the Virgin version of it as well. It's okay. Going to get some of those reprint stuff, and we're getting the movies soon, so this one could see a little bit more interest. No copies have sold as of yet. There are only 3 out there right now as I'm doing this on Sunday, but there's an auction starting at $50. And then we got one starting at 192 and another at 170. So pretty steep buy it now prices on this. And again, I think both of these are actually, if you're really interested, as I'm doing this on Sunday, if you're really interested, and for you members, you get to see this first. Midtown has these. I think they're selling them right around ratio, maybe around $54 or something like that. So if you're interested, you can get these there, and yeah, there it is. But if how long they'll stay available at Midtown, I don't know. But it has happened to notice those were there when I did again my Midtown sweep. But that all said, that's all I got for you this week. That's the stuff I'm keeping an eye out for. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you found this helpful and you find this interesting. Thanks for the support for the channel. And yeah, come back and check out all the other stuff I got dropping this week. I'll have new hidden gems going back to the old way of doing things, at least for one week, and then chasing ghosts, etc. And our 100th episode of the Tax Show this Wednesday. Granted, I know we should probably do like a big thing for 100 episodes, but Marco doesn't want to, and I'm kind of celebration down after hitting 2,500 subs. So we might keep it low key, but still 100 episodes of the Tax Show this Wednesday. And with that, see you guys soon with some more content. All right, later.